নেৰেশ্যন হ'ল কোনো এটা ঘটনা প্ৰকাশ কৰাৰ বাবে ব্যৱহাৰ হোৱা লিখিত বা কথিত ভাষ্য। নমস্কাৰ, মই দিগন্ত। আজি মই এই ভিডিঅ'টোত 2002 বৰ্ষৰ পৰা 2020 বৰ্ষলৈ দ্বাদশ শ্ৰেণীৰ চূড়ান্ত পৰীক্ষাত আহি যোৱা নেৰেশ্যনবোৰ আলোচনা কৰিম। ভিডিঅ'টো শেষলৈ চাবা। নেৰেশ্যন কেনেদৰে কৰা হয়, নেৰেশ্যনৰ নিয়মবোৰ আলোচনা কৰি ভিডিঅ' বনাইছোঁ, তোমালোকে চাবা। বুজি পোৱাত কিবা অসুবিধা হ'লে কমেণ্ট কৰিবা, মোক হোৱাটছআপো কৰিব পাৰা। ব'লা এতিয়া ভিডিঅ'টো ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰোঁ। 2002 নাম্বাৰ 1টো চোৱা। দ্য বয় ছেড টু দ্য টিচাৰ, ছাৰ, আই এম উইক ইন ইংলিছ এণ্ড ছিক ইউৰ এডভাইচ। ৰিড দ্য টেক্সট থৰ'লি এণ্ড ট্ৰাই টু এক্সপ্ৰেছ ইউৰ আইডিয়াছ ইন চিম্পল কাৰেক্ট ইংলিছ, ছেড দ্য টিচাৰ। এইটো নেৰেশ্যন 2017তো ৰিপিট হৈছিল। ইয়াত দুটা বাক্য আছে, প্ৰথমটো এছাৰ্টিভ চেণ্টেন্সৰ আৰু দ্বিতীয়টো ইম্পাৰেটিভ চেণ্টেন্সৰ। ইনডাইৰেক্ট নেৰেশ্যনটো হ'ব, দ্য বয় পোলাইটলি টল্ড দ্য টিচাৰ that he was weak in English and sought his advice. The teacher advised him to read the text thoroughly and try to express his ideas in simple correct English. Number 2 swa. I asked my friend why he looked so sad. He replied that his father was seriously ill and there was little hope of his recovery. Etu indirect narration ot ase. ইণ্টাৰগেটিভ চেণ্টেন্সৰ বাক্য হয়। ডাইৰেক্ট নেৰেশ্যনটো হ'ব, I said to my friend, why do you look so sad? He said, my father is seriously ill and there is little hope of his recovery. 2003 নাম্বাৰ 1টো চোৱা। I have just bought a car, said Peter, but it is not insured yet, so I can't take you for a ride. Answer to hobo, Peter said to me that he had just bought a car but that was not insured till then, so he could not take me for a ride. Number 2 swa. The man said that he had been there for 2.5 years and they are going to stay another 6 months. Answer to hobo, the man said, we have been here for 2.5 months and we are going to stay another 6 months. 2004 number 1. The traveler said to the peasant, can you show me the nearest inn? Yes, said the peasant. Answer to hobo, the traveler asked the peasant if he could show him the nearest inn. The peasant replied that he could. Etu narration 2007 repeat hoisil. Number 2. She said to her son that she was old and lonely and asked him if he had no pity on her loneliness. Direct narration to hobo, she said to her son, I am old and lonely. Do you have no pity on my loneliness? 2005 number 1 to swa. Nothing can be avoided, said Caesar, which the God had purposed. Those omens appear to everyone, not only to Caesar. Answer to hobo, Caesar said that nothing could be avoided which the God purposed. He further said that those omens appear to everyone, not only to Caesar. Number 2 swa. The teacher asked the student if he had prepared his lessons. The student replied politely that he had not. Answer to hobo, the teacher said to the student, have you prepared your lessons? The student said, sir, I have not. 2006 number 1 to. Hercules said the goddess of virtue, I offer myself to you. I know you are descended from the gods and that you have given proof of that by your love of virtue. Answer to hobo, the goddess of virtue told Hercules that she offered herself to him because she knew he was descended from the gods and he had given proof of that by his love of virtue. Number 2. When John asked Mary whether she would help him, she replied that she would. Answer to hobo. When John said to Mary, "Will you help me?" she said, "I will." 2007. Number 1. He said, "I don't wish to see any of you. Go away." Answer to hobo. He said that he did not wish to see any of them and told them to go away. 2008. Number 1. Rosmi Karan said, "I have a very important matter to discuss with you today. You must give me your attention." Answer to hobo. Karan told Rosmi that he had very important matter to discuss with her and so she must give him her attention. Number 2. The teacher ordered Joe to stand up and asked him why he had not prepared his lesson. He told him that he would write to his father. Answer to hobo. The teacher said to Joe, "Stand up. Why have not you prepared your lesson? I shall write to your father." 2009. Number 1. Rohit said to his friends, "Let us go and help the flood affected people." এইটো বাক্যত চোৱা ৰিপৰ্টেড স্পীচত লেট শব্দ আছে আৰু লেটৰ পিছত কি আছে বহু বচন আছে। এইটো ইম্পাৰেটিভ সেন্টেন্সৰ বাক্য হয়। ইনডাইৰেক্ট নেৰেশ্যনটো হ'ব Rohit suggested বা proposed his friends that they should go and help the flood affected people. Number 2. I asked Priyam what she was doing. Priyam replied that she was preparing her lesson. Answer to hobo. I asked Priyam, "What are you doing?" "I am preparing my lesson," said Priyam. 2010. Number 1 to swa. I said to him, "How long will you stay?" He replied, "For 5 days." Indirect narration to hobo. I asked him how long he would stay. He replied that he would stay for 5 days. Number 2. The boy humbly requested the teacher to excuse him and promised he would never do so again. Answer to hobo. The boy said to the teacher, "Please excuse me, sir. I will never do so again." 2011. Number 1. Rajmi asked her friends if they were ready to go with her. They wanted to know what her intention was. Answer to hobo. Rajmi said to her friends, "Are you ready to go with me?" They said, "What is your intention?" Number 2 swa. The boy requested that he might be allowed to get in, but the teacher said no. Answer to hobo. The boy said to the teacher, "May I get in, sir?" The teacher replied negatively. 2013. Why are not you wearing chappals? I asked one boy. My mother did not bring them down from the shelf. He answers simply. Answer to hobo. I asked one boy why he was not wearing chappals. He simply answers that his mother did not bring them down from the shelf. Number 2. One day, Mukesh told me that he would be a motor mechanic and leave Firozabad. I asked if he knew anything about car. Answer to hobo. One day, Mukesh said to me, "I will be a motor mechanic and leave Firozabad." I said to him, "Do you know anything about car?" এটা অনুৰোধ, চেনেলটো যদি সাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰা নাই কৰি লোৱা। এইটো চেনেলত এনে ধৰণৰ এডুকেশ্যনেল ভিডিঅ'বোৰ আগলৈ পাই থাকিবা। 2014. Number 1. The lady said to the salesman, "What is the price of the Barbie doll?" The salesman said to her, "It is a bit expensive, but I can give you a 20% discount." Answer to hobo. The lady asked the salesman what the price of that Barbie doll was. The salesman answered by replied to her that it was a bit expensive, but he could give her at 20% discount. Number 2. One day, Mohan told me that he would be a doctor and leave Assam. I asked him if he knew anything about medicine. Answer to hobo. One day, Mohan said to me, I will be a doctor and leave Assam. I said to him, do you know anything about medicine? 2015. Number 1. Where do you go every Sunday? I asked the girl. She replied, I go to the church. Answer to hobo. I asked the girl where she goes every Sunday. She answered that she goes to the church. Number 2. The teacher asked Rumi if she had read the Bible. She replied that she had not. Answer to hobo. The teacher said to Rumi, have you read the Bible? She replied, I have not. 2016. Number 1 Swa. How long do you have to wait for your train? The woman asked me. About an hour, I replied. Answer to hobo. The woman inquired of me how long I had to wait for my train. I replied that I had to wait for about an hour. Number 2. I asked Ranjan where Nina lived. Ranjan replied regretfully that he did not know. Answer to hobo. I said to Ranjan, where does Nina live? He said, sorry, I don't know. 2017. 2017 number 1 narration to 2002 আলোচনা কৰিছো এতিয়া number 2 to চোৱা number 2 my friend told me that he was very thirsty and requested me to give him a glass of water. Answer to hobo. My friend said to me, I am very thirsty, please give me a glass of water. 2018. Number 1. The speaker said, I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me a kind hearing. When I arrived here yesterday, I did not believe that I might meet so large a gathering. Answer to hobo. The speaker, addressing the ladies and gentlemen, thanked them for giving him a kind hearing. He further told that when he had arrived there the previous day, he did not believe that he might meet so large a gathering. Number 2. His mother exclaimed in sorrow that she had not a bit of bread to give him, that he had eaten up all the provisions she had in the house the previous day. Answer to hobo. His mother said, alas, I have not a bit of bread to give you. You have eaten up all the provision I had in the house yesterday. 2019. Number 1. Rina said to the boy, what's the matter? Why are you crying? Be cheerful. Answer to hobo. Rina asked the boy what the matter was and why he was crying. She also advised him to be cheerful. Number 2. The customer inquired if he could get a garden ruler in that shop. The assistant respectfully replied that he would get it in the hardware department. Answer to hobo. The customer said, can I get a garden ruler in this shop? The assistant said, sir, you will get it in the hardware department. 2020. Number 1. Alexander said to Purush, how do you desire to be treated? He answered, like a king. Answer to hobo. Alexander asked Purush how he desired to be treated. He answered that he desired to be treated like a king. Number 2. The boy exclaimed in joy that they had all passed the test and that they would celebrate their success the next day. Answer to hobo. The boy said, Hurrah, we have all passed the test and we shall celebrate our success tomorrow. এই ভিডিওটো যদি ভাল পাইছা লাইক কৰিবা, বন্ধু বান্ধৱীৰ লগত শ্বেয়াৰ কৰিবা আৰু ভিডিওৰ নটিফিকেশন পাবলৈ চেনেলটো সাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰি বেল আইকনটো প্ৰেছ কৰিবা। এই ভিডিওটো চোৱাৰ বাবে ধন্যবাদ। নেক্সট ভিডিওত লগ পাম।